Hey folks, this is Sacred Prophet here with a Sacred Prophet interview. And who better to start this interview series with than my own brother, Peter Hartman. Hey Peter, how's it going?
It's going well, Tom. How's it going with you?
Great. I mean, I'm not sure. Should I be calling you Peter? I mean, that's what I know you as. The world knows you as Bad Guru. Where'd that name come from?
Bad Guru? Well, Bad Guru came out of my desire. I spent uh, many years as a motivational speaker and a personal empowerment teacher, and there were a lot of things that I couldn't say or wouldn't say in a professional environment. When I started doing stand-up comedy, I decided, hey, there's this other aspect to who I am that I'd like to share. Let me combine that with my motivational speaker self. So Bad Guru is my comedian and motivational speaker self combined together that allows me the freedom to kind of color outside of the lines and be a little bit more risque with the way that I speak and to speak far more naturally. So yeah, that's Bad Guru. Bad Guru came out of my frustration with not being able to speak the way I wanted to speak. And as Bad Guru, I get to do that.
Well, now as with the whole health crisis that we're in, it seems like that old Peter Hartman's gone, and it's only Bad Guru now. do you feel like you've taken that name on permanently as who you are?
If that turns out to be the case, I'll be very happy. Peter does make its return. Like when I'm being sort of more serious and when I'm being more sort of inspirational or something, I tend to just be Peter. Peter isn't, when I do my show Bad Guru Nightly, you see both Peter and Bad Guru. But deep down inside, I'm all Bad Guru. Peter is actually the mask. Bad Guru is the real character.
Well, I do get to talk to you quite a bit, and I like seeing how the sausage is made. And to be frank, I've never had a real reason to interview you before. I mean, I've had you on every now and then. I've been on your stuff, but now you're starting something that actually matters, right? Hashtag Black Money Matters. I like this idea so much. What really captures me more than the idea, more than anything, is that we started naming things with hashtags. Like that's become a thing, right? We can say things like hashtag whatever. I was watching CNBC, the financial news regularly now, and you hear them quote Twitter handles and Reddit threads, and they say things like Crotch Rocket 69 says that GameStop is going to the moon. Rocket emoji, diamond hands, diamond hands. I just love it. I love that we're naming things that way. So Black Money Matters. If you just give me a little rundown, what's your pitch for that?
Yeah, hashtag Black Money Matters is a social experiment intending to create a black millionaire, the purpose of which is to demonstrate our power and our ability to create change in the world by using our attention, by using social media in a constructive way. So essentially, we're just going to gather, enough people online, minimum 200,000, let's say 1 million people together, and they each pick someone. We give them $1, $2, $3, $5, whatever it is, and we make them a millionaire. And hopefully, that's a fun thing to do. I see it kind of equivalent to like flash mobs or planking or something like that. It could be like some fun fad that we do, but that reminds us that together we are mighty.
So it's nice to see this idea that you've been espousing for the last few years really, come to fruition in this idea of yours. Because I remember when you were doing the TED Talk, was it a couple of years ago, and the TEDx talk, and you were talking about the idea that we're always trying to inspire, we're always trying to get a large group of people to do something, but it's so hard. Like people go at it like in an incredibly uphill way. Whereas if you use the same sort of behavioral techniques that cause people to click on ads and to play video games and that sort of thing, you can get people to do a small action that has a cumulative effect that's like extremely powerful. Is that what's at the core of this Black Money Matters?
Yeah, absolutely. Just showing the power of unity, using social media in a way that is different than what we've been using it as, either absent-mindedly, coincidentally, accidentally, but using it with purpose. Actually, in that TEDx talk, and I'm glad you called it TEDx talk and not a TED talk. To me, I don't know, one is far more prestigious than the other, but I really liked participating in that. But the part that I left out of it, and I totally just blanked on stage, I just totally forgot this section to my talk. But essentially, I remember reading an article a few years ago. Bill Gates establish an energy fund, $1 billion energy fund. And I thought, hey, that's kind of cool. $1 billion to develop R&D research in order to use sustainable energy, different forms of energy. Then I thought, wait, hang on a second. We already kind of have an energy fund. We already have $1 billion fund. It's just that instead of it being in the pockets of a few wealthy people, it's in the pockets of millions of us regular folk, right? Bill Gates had to go to get this energy fund. He had to go to his pals, his buddies, his colleagues, and get them to donate. Well, if you can do that with 10 rich people and get $1 billion, you can do that with 20 million average people and get $1 billion. So when I started realizing that the change in our pockets could actually be used for more, and that we had a mechanism with social media in order to, and the internet in order to direct those funds pointedly and in an instant whenever we chose to, I realized there was a potential there.
Well, if you remember, I'll take you back. What was this? 15 years ago, we had this idea called social nova. Remember this?
Exactly
Where
right. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
been percolating for a while. This whole idea of that if you can get we can get a large subscriber base, and the purpose of the subscriber base wouldn't be that we're providing videos and content so that on the side we can sort of milk the subscriber list for their attention. The purpose of being part of the group would be to when we send a message out to go pay attention to this thing, everyone does it. Like if you could crash the website, crash the app, that would be the idea. That was 15 years ago when the technology wasn't nearly as good as it is now. And so now this seems like a reincarnation of this, that instead of, or it's joining the two, it's the attention bomb that happens, but also instead of just attention, send the attention and send money. Like, why can't we all just send $1, $2, $5 to where we want it to be, all do it together so that it actually matters, right? We've all had that feeling where you give $5, $10, $20 to a homeless person on the street, and you're like, I haven't dented this guy's life. I have not. I've just continued. I've made sure he continued his misery. And I remember you were talking about how that sort of feeling just it's so defeatist. It makes you not even want to give anything at all.
That's right. The sense of powerlessness, the sense of what will it matter, that's a real problem. And part of my philosophy, part of this Making Millionaire philosophy is that you do matter. You matter, and the small amount that you do does matter. You contribute to an economy. In this same vein, okay, so we might not be able to make the homeless person you pass by on the street a millionaire or anything like that, or change their life. How likely is that? But every so often, something appears in the news, something appears on social media where something goes viral, where somebody is in need of help, or something bad happened to them. And you might watch this video and go, oh, I wish I could help. I wish I could do something. Well, when something arises in the media, I see in the future some ways for people to not just comment and share and tweet and look at this and oh my God and hug emojis and whatever it is, but we'll be able to send money to the people that rise up in our consciousness. We'll be able to not just watch the news, but interact with the news and become it by using our ability to direct money and attention in order to make that person's life better. So it might not be the homeless person you pass by on the street, but I had someone recently send me a video after hearing about Black Money Matters. They sent me this video of this homeless man who got notoriety because anyway, he got notoriety somehow. I can't remember the details there, but a lot of people, their hearts were filled, and so they sent him food. They sent him a bunch of food. Well, this guy got so much food that he then started giving out this food to other homeless people and to other people on the street. And you see this video of him doing barbecues and cookouts. This homeless man giving the food that he got away because he got so much of it. Make that guy a millionaire. You know what I mean? Like, give that guy $1 million. Like, change his life. He's not more deserving than anyone else. It's really just an outlet for the zeitgeist, for the global consciousness, or for our national consciousness, in order to affect the things that come to us, so that we don't just feel powerless in the face of the news that we hear.
Yeah, this really seems like the next evolution of this idea. Like, I remember when Patreon started. So Patreon was started by this musician called Jack Conte, and I remember following Jack Conte on YouTube for several years. And every time I watched one of his videos, that he must have poured his heart and soul into making these videos. I was always wondering, why doesn't he not have? He doesn't have that many views, right? It's sort of like he had this sort of like niche, eclectic sort of music to it. It was so fantastic, and it was just demoralizing to see him struggling just to make it by so we can make the next video. And I also thought to myself, if the views that there are on these videos could actually translate more directly into dollars, not just, for every 1,000 views the person makes a buck, but literally that every view, for every share, for every time someone talked about it, the person would get a dollar. I was like, oh my god, that would make so many more great content creators. And so when he went off and he created Patreon in order to try to solve this problem, right? He wanted, instead of having to rely on advertising revenue, you as an audience member could directly give money every month to this content creator, um, uh, uh, so that they could continue to make videos. I thought that was fantastic. But the downside of that is that you it's not sensationalistic enough, right? Oh, I mean, occasionally you might hear of someone who they got so many subscribers to their Patreon, but that, what does that last? That lasts maybe a couple of weeks at most, and then you never think, oh, this popular person has this many people on their social media network. Even The Rock, who became recently the most followed person on Instagram. What is it, 200 million followers or something like that? He became the most followed person in the world. You go, okay, like, so what is he gonna do with that 100 million? I guess when he wants to promote his next movie, like, what does it do? Or you'll see like cat videos on on YouTube that have 1 billion views or something like that. You're like, great, like, there's a difference between the attention and the views that's happening and the money that the content creators are getting. So what I like about the Black Money Matters idea is that, and the core idea that you have for Happy for a Change, which is the name of your company, is that the sending of the money is not just that we could all do this together, but it makes it sensationalistic. It brings attention to it. It makes it a newsworthy item, at the same time that the person actually becomes a millionaire. So I love that.
And one of the things that I that comes up when I pitch this idea to people. A lot of people say, "Well, why does it have to be $1 million? Like, why can't it be $100,000 or $5,000? That could change someone's life." And well, yeah, of course, absolutely, right. But Elon Musk built the Roadster before he built the Model 3 because he knew he had to get people excited about the possibility of electric vehicles and what they can do and get rid of the stigma behind it and really make it desirable before he could get the revenue and get the market for his Model 3. In the same way with Black Money Matters, in the same way with my principle making millionaires, it doesn't have to be a million. Like, who cares? Like, yeah, you could, remember the show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, right? Well, okay, if they said Who Wants to Be a Thousandaire, I mean, okay, it'd be good, but I mean, the excitement comes out of that number, so that's why I picked that number. But what I want with this is I want to show people, and I believe we're evolving towards this with technology the way it is. We're getting rid of the middlemen, right? We don't need the middleman. So you get if YouTube or Patreon, whatever, like, can you imagine if they weren't taking their cut from the views, right? Look, if you have a YouTube Premium subscription, if you pay that $6 a month for YouTube Premium, when you watch someone's video and they're monetized, they get a portion of your $6. Like, literally, they get a tiny portion of your $6. Being a YouTube Premium subscriber actually gives more to the content creator than watching the ad does. Right. And so that's closer to the model of what we want. Like, I want you watch something, that person gets paid. How can someone have 250,000 subscribers on YouTube and still struggling? Like, there are shows on TV that don't have that many views. There's radio shows that don't have that many views. Like, it's because of the middlemen taking their cut.
So let me just ask you. So as far as the middleman is concerned, so that's really where I come in. That's what I really want to talk about. So one of the hurdles that you're gonna have to get over is this idea of how to send this money to a chosen Black person. And you've heard me talk about this for weeks now. It's, to me, it's all about crypto, right? Cryptocurrencies allow for the quick transmission of money. Right, you can send them money within seconds to somebody, and they have it. It doesn't have to go through an intermediary at all. No one's getting their cut. I mean, whatever. There's a small cut, let's say, from the cryptocurrency exchange, but there's no one's getting their cut if you don't send it that way, and you don't have to worry about pooling the money in some sort of escrow account. You don't have to worry about the wrong person gets it or anything like that. I love the idea that if you're able to do this Black Money Matters idea, and it was simple for people to get into to convert whatever their money have into cryptocurrency and send that to the person, and then they were able to turn that into dollars in order to do what they want. I think that would be wonderful. But the big problem that we talk about all the time is that crypto is not easy to get into. Like once you have the cryptocurrency and you figure it out after trial and error, how to actually send money, okay. But for someone to even receive it, they need a crypto account, right? It doesn't show up in their bank account. They need to know how to go through all this, and it is a pain and a half in order to set it up. I'll tell you, the first time I had to transfer $100 from my crypto account to somewhere else, and I have to wait 15 minutes to see if the Bitcoin showed up anywhere. I'm there like, there's no customer service to call. There's no, there's a huge 64 character string I got to put in, and if I got the X instead of a Y, that's it. The money just gone. Someone else has the money, no way of getting it back. And so, I mean, if I could put out a call to action there to cryptocurrency enthusiasts and technologists, there are people like you, Peter, who are out there creating these amazing ideas that crypto could actually facilitate, that blockchain can actually facilitate, but the two need to meet. Because I'll tell you, I watch, I don't know, hundreds. I'm going to end up watching thousands of hours of videos and interviews with these crypto technologists, and I could hardly imagine worse spokespeople for this industry, right? Now,
Yeah.
if you want a brand new technology in cryptographics and financial transfers that require years and years of study in cryptographic technology and programming, you're gonna need the guy who's in his basement and sits in front of his computer for 23 hours a day. You're gonna need that guy. Unfortunately, that guy doesn't play well with others, and he's not gonna really understand how to get the message across.
Well, it's like if you have an engineer build an app, the app is going to have all the functionality you want, but look god awful.
Well, I say this all the time. All right, I'm a programmer, and I always wonder all the time why are there poor programmers? To me, it's like in Harry Potter. Why are there poor wizards? How are you magic? How are you poor? How does that make any sense whatsoever? You can be paid to build a program that can make someone $1 million, but you can't build this for yourself, and they can't. They just can't see it. They can't do it. They don't have that. So I want that sort of connection. That's one of the reasons I want to bring you on. That's a call to action out there for crypto people. Find people out there who have ideas like Black Money Matters. Work with them and go, look, this is how we can onboard people. This is how we can. These are the on ramps for this, and this is how you can get money to that person to accomplish their idea. Because something you said a lot, you don't care about having $1 billion. You care about directing $1 billion. That is far more important than actually having the money.
Yeah, there's all kinds of complications that happen when you get the money. I used to fantasize, hey, I would really love to be the first trillionaire. And then you realize that's going to be a hell of a lot of hassle to deal with $1 trillion. And why the heck do I even want that? It's because I want to accomplish some things. If I could accomplish some things and direct funds without having to deal with having it, I'm all for it, right? I'm all for it. So yeah, to me, it seems like just a smarter way for us. I really think in the future, instead of having to take your money and deposit it somewhere and then those people then do something with it, that we're going to be able to do it more directly. And the more we do that, the more we're going to see great ideas. I think a lot of great ideas fizzle and burn out because of these technical problems, these getting a market, building up capital, advertising to people. And I think what I want at the foundation of this idea is to wake people up to, hey, look, instead of delegating responsibility or all of our responsibility over to other people, we have to start taking on that responsibility. We can't put the responsibility on the creator to find you. You want to put the responsibility on you to find the creator. So instead of having them trying to convince people that there's a market, the market has to be louder and be far more obvious.
Well, it's great to hear, man. So I'm going to wrap this up, but I just want to be able to. I want to say something here. There's all kinds of crypto projects that are happening right now that are just extremely thrilling that people don't really hear about, but these experiments are happening where people are getting paid for you listen to music on this on a crypto type Spotify, and the creator of the song gets money because you listen to it. There are all kinds of things, lotteries that happen there. You're able to earn interest and compound your money in crypto space. You're able to there's all kinds of interesting projects that are in the works for it. But I think it's when they those things are joined with ideas like yourself, like your own, that are trying to be sensationalistic, that it can really propel crypto even higher. And if there's anything that has given me the most amount of hope, it's this GameStop short squeeze. Now we're not going to go into detail about it. I got videos talking about GameStop, but the idea is that these people, what was it? Let's call it 100,000 people, figured out, hey, this is the game that there's a game that Wall Street is playing, and if we played the game, if we understood the rules, we could game it in such a way that we could win. They could figure out how to min-max it. They could figure out how to hack the game, how to speed run the game, and they figured out how to cause a stock to ramp up 120,000%. Right? That's an insane thing that these people did, and they realized that it's by joining together and not quitting and having a concerted effort, a concerted goal, that they can actually create this. And I mean, that stock has since come down, but people have been still talking about GameStop, and it's gonna be in the history books. We're gonna hear about this again and again and again and again.
I wanted to bring up a point that I haven't mentioned anywhere before, and I thought it'd be good to mention it on your show. Do I
Yeah,
have a
of
minute to
course.
do that? I don't know if this is an accurate explanation of the idea. You'll tell me where I go wrong, but it's along the lines of decentralized finance. What I loved about GameStop is that combined together, those folks became the equivalent to some degree to $1 billion hedge fund, right? They were able to operate in
Better,
that sense, like be able to
it's
combine.
better because they didn't have the rules that a hedge fund has to follow.
Exactly, without the limitations. So, what I see, Happy for Change, all my initiatives, and Black Money Black Money Matters is not any different than this. Is sort of again, I could be totally wrong in how I explain this, but it's a decentralized company, right? A company is a group of people who are unified in a goal to accomplish their goal. But there is all kinds of technical things and friction that comes about with creating a company. The place, the taxes you got to pay, the paperwork, all that stuff. What I see available in our society right now, all the pieces are there to create a decentralized company. All you need are people who are unified by a philosophy, an idea, a goal, and using the tools that we already have available to us, these networking tools that we can communicate and collaborate. And then we can direct our capital and our energy towards a specific goal without necessarily having to be under a brick and mortar type traditional company without those limitations. And then you can free flow, you can have companies come together and come apart and just to accomplish specific goals. And you can get more done in society than the slow traditional way of going about business. The way I see this is like in the past, when we were growing up, Tom, we're old enough for this. We're old enough to remember when people used to post, a flyer at a bus stop with like phone number tags on it, right? Guitar lessons. And then you'd go and you're like, okay, take that phone number and then call them later on. And I think the way people are doing a lot of business today, not every business, but some businesses are the equivalent of that. Like you don't need everybody in there in a building doing these things and payroll and taxes. We need to do that necessarily for every idea. Sometimes people just want to accomplish something, and we can do that in a decentralized way, a decentralized company. Of course, there are limitations when it comes to that, but then there's freedom that comes with that. And I think we can get a lot more done in that way. And when we start doing that, I think people are going to start realizing, oh my God, first start with the idea and then think about the simplest way to execute that idea. And I would far rather live in a world where millionaires and billionaires weren't just created through those traditional means, but were created by us observing the world and deciding, you know what, that guy, that woman, that person out there who had that idea, I think we should explode. I call it fireworking. You called it supernova. We called it supernova in the past. I call it fireworking. We can give them an explosion of attention, and in so doing, we become like a PR firm, an investment firm, a media industry, all decentralized that nobody can stop. And that's the power of a hashtag, I think.
Well, that's beautiful. And that's why you're the motivational speaker. All right. So why don't you tell the folks where they can find out more about you?
You can find more of me. I am Bad Guru on Twitter, or Happy for a Change on Twitter. Right now, I'm focused on hashtag Black Money Matters. So you can join the Facebook group on facebook.com/Happy for a Change. Just join the Black Money Matters Facebook group there. And if you're interested in an idea like this, look, I know there are pitfalls. I know there's all kinds of things, but just get on board with the idea that if we can connect, step one, connect 1 million people. Step two, choose a person. Step three, send them $2. We make them a millionaire. Why $2? Because if you send them one, they won't be a millionaire after taxes. That's how I feel about it. Thanks so much,
No
Tom.
problem. All right. Well, I'm Sacred Prophet. Thank you guys for giving me your time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.